Let's bring in Lanny Davis, former special counsel to President Clinton, author of the new book, Crisis Tales, 5 Rules for Coping with Crises in Business, Politics, and Life. Something we all need to read here. Lanny, good to see you.
Thanks for the introduction. I always want one person to call me and say, Lanny, I have great news for you, but it doesn't happen very often.
Well, when they're saying they don't have good news, that might be good news really for you, though.
Well, my job is to try to help when there is a bad personal, business, or a political situation. And my advice usually is very similar to what I say in my book, is the overall rule about the truth, which is tell it all, tell it early, and tell it yourself.
Is that the questions that you go through? I mean, you've advised Bill Clinton, we've got Martha Stewart, Charlie Rangel, Trent Lott, just about everybody. It's a who's who list. When you have that prospect that gives you a call, what is the first question that you ask him?
What are the facts? And for me to get the facts, I can't be a public relations firm. I have to be an attorney in the room with attorneys, because they protect the facts because they're worried about legal issues, which they should be. So having attorney-client privilege, being able to get the facts, is the first and elemental thing in any type of a controversy, whether it's personal or whether it's political or business. Getting the facts and figuring out what is truthful that can be said to get the story behind you.
How many clients have you had?
Oh, dozens and dozens. I'm sorry to say there are plenty of people in difficulty. They don't always call me early enough into the situation where I can be helpful. In the case of Trent Lott, it was after he experienced his crisis when he was majority leader. It said something very indiscreet involving a Strom Thurmond birthday party toast. And when he came to me, he was basically over for his position in the Senate, but he asked me, what's the best method to heal? And I put him in touch with Reverend Jesse Jackson, who said a prayer for him, and the two of them became very close, and I was witness to that. I tell that story in my book as another way to solve a personal hurt is to make peace and heal, as opposed to doing anything about the story, which is too late to do anything about.
When do you say no?
Well, when I can't get the truth out, facts are my stock in trade.
Right.
And when I dealt with Penn State, I knew that the Board of Trustees had a story that could be told to explain their wrenching decision on Joe Paterno. I can't say yes to anyone who withholds the facts or who has such an evil set of facts that there's no way for me to credibly defend them. Then I have to say no.
I want to get your one-sentence piece of advice, if they haven't already called you, but let's just say that they haven't, and what you're going to be sharing with us is not something that is confidential. Former South Carolina Governor Mark Sanford, one-sentence advice there.
Oh, a much better full narrative of what happened, why, and how sorry he is for the people he hurt. We have little pieces of it, but he's never really done the full story.
So former Congressman Anthony Weiner resigning amidst that sexting scandal, now coming on strong.
Yes, I think he did finally do it the right way. It takes a while involving a personal hurt which you've administered to a wife, a spouse, a companion. It did take Mr. Weiner a while, but he finally did it the right way. He suffered the pain. He made peace at home. And I think he's being forgiven by the people of New York, and his competence, which is very high, is what's now being looked
Lenny,
at.
One sentence would be keep on doing what you're doing, is what you're saying?
Yes, and don't be afraid of the tough questions, and continue to make peace with the wonderful wife and child that you have at home.
All right, last one, David Petraeus, the general, former CIA director.
I'm a great admirer of Joan Petraeus, but he admitted the affair when he had to, and then he shut up. He had his PR people shut him down. Terrible mistake. He should have had a press conference, answer all the questions, do a Geraldine Ferraro, which is what she did, and that story would have been behind him, rather than continuing to dribble out and continuing to hang over him. He's a truly great man, very badly advised.
The man who is in a lot of people's Rolodexes, Lanny Davis, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, Richard.